I want the bets from betting weekly, because we win. That is our motto. Sometimes we win, sometimes we don't win. Don't give us the bird, don't give us your stink eye. We try our best, and we're successful. Come watch our show. Bet Rivers sponsors. It's time to start. Enjoy the show.
Hello, everybody. What a morning, afternoon, wherever you are in the world of tennis we've just seen at the Australian Open. Two incredible semi-finals. The remarkable first match between with Alexander Zverev, who should have booked his place into the Australian Open final, up against Carlos Alcaraz, who showed some determination and fight to get into that final. And then we have just topped it up with an unbelievable performance, rolling back the years, from the GOAT, the greatest athlete in all time. That's it now. That is it. That is the greatest athlete. That's the discussion point. Is there a better athlete in the world of sports than Novak Djokovic? And what he has just done against Jannik Sinner. Now, this was a Jannik Sinner that wasn't in heat. This is a Jannik Sinner that wasn't in breakdown. His body wasn't breaking down. He wasn't having cramps. He was there fighting. And Novak Djokovic just produced one of the greatest sporting performances I think I have ever seen in my life. I'm still buzzing from what I just saw. Let me know your comments. Those of you coming and giving your comments on straight away. I mean, let's be fair. I never saw that happening. I never in a million years saw that performance from Novak Djokovic at 38 years of age. How could he beat a man who's unplayable for years and years? But what he did, he showed heart, he showed desire, he showed fight. And he showed every underdog out there, I tell you what, if I want this, I can do it. And that is what he done. And they're saying the same thing with Carlos Alcaraz in the first match as well against Alexander Zverev. What he did there, he wasn't going to get beat. And that is what you have to be, the top-class sportsman. Now we've got a fantastic final. Incredible performance. Let's have a look at some of the odds. After the first set in that match, Novak Djokovic was about a 50-1 outsider to win that match. Alexander Zverev is minus 10,000 with Bet Rivers. Incredible price, minus 10,000. And just remember what Novak Djokovic did in the semi-final. In that semi-final, he was 2 sets to love down against Musetti. He was about 800-1 to win the tournament. 800-1 in play to win the tournament. And we have just seen that performance. As I can say, I'm absolutely unbelievably buzzing about it. I've never been so happy to get something so totally wrong. Because you know what I did in that match? I actually bet Jannik Sinner to win 3 sets to love. And then all of a sudden, after the second set, I become a Novak Djokovic fan, just cheering that. I never thought in a million years he could do this. How can he go on? Can he go on and win it? Well, he's got a great chance to win it because you've got Alcaraz there after 5.5 hours against Alexander Zverev. Is now going to be absolutely fatigued as well. So an absolutely incredible performance. We said in Betting Weekly Game Bet Match that we never expected to do it, but we had to pay some credit to his name with the odds that he had. The prices on his name was crazy about it. And hopefully some of you in there have taken. Put some comments on. If you have bet Novak Djokovic to win the tournament, if you have bet him to win that match, put your comments in there. Let me know what you think. This is his 11th final. 11th final of a major. I mean, I was a tennis fan when I was working in the betting trading companies, and I was a tennis fan with Pete Sampras. I thought Pete Sampras was the greatest tennis player I've ever seen. The elegance of Pete Sampras, the serve at vital points. I thought this guy was incredible. Obviously, I loved the fight of Andre Agassi at that period of time, and then Jim Courier come along and won tournaments on clay. Then we had the Nadal era. Then we had the Federer era as well at the same sort of time. Federer was the most graceful player. Nadal had the heart. And now, what he's doing at 38 years of age to beat these two players, these young guys, putting it up to him is just incredible. Let me know if there is anybody in the world who you think now is a better sportsman. Who is the GOAT of sports? Who is it? It's got to be Novak Djokovic. Come on. Let me know. So put some comments. Who else can compete with Novak Djokovic as the greatest of all time? I don't think there's many. Let me know what you think. If you've got Carlos Alcaraz, you've got to be feeling good. Do we hedge? No, no. Why would you? Why do you think you're feeling good? Why would you think you're feeling good? Carlos Alcaraz was cramping up. Carlos Alcaraz was absolutely gone in that game against Alexander Zverev. He's just come out. He's been fresh after the Musetti match. The match before, he obviously had a walkover, and now he's beating Yannick Sinner. I mean, in 5 sets. Arguably, I would say that Novak Djokovic is the fresher of the two of the players. I'm not so I don't know. I don't know if he's if you're looking good at Carlos Alcaraz. There's some odds now coming out at the moment as we're speaking after that match. Let's have a look at some of these prices. Let me get them up on my screen. What have we got? Let me find them now. But keep them comments. Find me. Just let me know who is the greatest all-time athlete. Novak Djokovic to win the final is plus 225. Plus 225 is the price of Novak Djokovic. Now, if that was before today and it was priced up yesterday, so say we said, okay, we saw Novak Djokovic's performance against Musetti, and we saw the way that Carlos Alcaraz has come to this final. What price would we be? Well, I'll tell you what price you'd be, Novak Djokovic. You'd be around plus $3.50, $4. It was almost $5. Well, it was $5.50 today. So the market is actually saying that Novak Djokovic has got it. He's going to have all the crowd. Carlos Alcaraz is going to go into an arena where he's never been in before. It's incredible. What else have we got? How do you think? Well, myself and Sean are going to break down the final specifically from a betting point of view a little bit later on today, or maybe even tomorrow morning. So that will be dropping on the YouTube channel. We're actually going through all the bets and doing stuff. This is just a reaction because I'm so pumped at what I've just seen. I just sat there and I was just watching it in awe of it. I was watching it, and the serving of Djokovic. Yannick Sinner served more aces in that match than he's ever done in his career. And he still couldn't beat a 38-year-old Djokovic that everybody, including me, who's supposed to be one of the brightest betting minds of tennis in the world, could never give him the credit for. It was absolutely sensational. So what have we got? What do we got? I hate to say Djokovic's the GOAT, but I love Nadal. Brendan King, you know that. I think the difference with Novak Djokovic, he's got loads of this. He's got loads of heart. Loads of fake Sergio Tacchini's, but he's got loads of heart. He's got the fight in him, the way he come through as a child in a war-torn country. He's got something that you just can't buy. Carlos Alcaraz is the closest to that. So this is what's come through there. He has, I think when it comes to tennis as well, Yannick Sinner's come from a very privileged background, skiing, the north of Italy, very privileged. When it gets down to a 5-setter, which one do you want to take? You want one with some heart. And you can see that in the record now. Yannick Sinner is 6 wins and 11 losses in 5-set matches. That is just, for a man who's the number 1 seed, number 1 player, he's number 2 seed, but he's, vying for number 1. To have a 6 and 11, or 12 now, I think it's 12 or 11. To have that kind of record in a 5-setter, it's not going to make you the greatest. Novak Djokovic's record is now 43 and 11 in 5-set matches. This is crazy. What else we got? Frank Lampard, the greatest sportsman of all time. Harry, are you Frank Lampard? Come on, let's be fair. Frank Lampard Senior was better than the Frank Lampard. Carlos Alcaraz is the 1-3 favorite, but would you be betting Carlos Alcaraz at -$3 the way he cramped up? I'm not sure. The slow night conditions, Van Lee, which would they suit? Well, I don't think we got to that point now. I mean, we're in the final. I mean, I don't think it will suit anybody. They've both been playing it for 2 weeks. They both know exactly what they've got to compete with, and I think the crowd. After today, the crowd is going to be incredible. There is some slight thing that I have in the world of sport where I think that someone who has an absolutely huge win, like if you have a massive win, then I think that you have a massive come down straight after that win. And I'm always sort of wary of that. But I think that is much more the case for players who have never experienced wins. And I think it's much more the case for people who are underdogs. Novak Djokovic, this is another day at the office for Novak Djokovic. It's crazy. It's another day at the office. And you could see the way he was getting the crowd to cheer him, to pump him. He was using that adrenaline to beat Yannick Sinner because he'd been in that moment so many times, and Yannick Sinner hadn't been in that moment many times. And that is what he did, and that's how he got through. So it was just an incredible thing. We haven't really got many people giving me any alternatives apart from Frank Lampard, who is the GOAT of all time. And I'm not having the GOAT of all time. I mean, he's to me, after what he did today, he's now become the number one the GOAT of tennis. I always worried. I wasn't necessarily always a Nadal man. I admired Nadal, but I always thought Roger Federer was the most graceful, and for me, the greatest tennis player ever to grace the tennis court. Stylistically, yes, fantastic. But what Novak Djokovic has done today at this stage of his career, he's now number one, and I think he's number one in sports. Messi ahead of him. Dara says Messi. Why would you say Messi? I mean, it's a team game. Don't you think greatest sportsmen should be individuals? I mean, Tiger Woods, would Tiger Woods be up there with Novak Djokovic in terms of individual sports, what he has done? But I don't think golf, not so much physically over fight. They have to walk around golf course. I'm not a golf man. I don't be disrespectful for any golf players, but you have to walk around the course, play a few shots, take a shot. I mean, to run around a tennis court at 5.5 hours at 38, it's. I think that's probably a little bit more than that. Another one here going for Messi. I've seen the same person to that. I hate to say no Djokovic, but I love Nadal. What else have we got? Novak Djokovic in 4 sets we've got here for the final. That's from Corey. Carlos in 4 sets. We've got different opinions in the final. Carlos in 4, Novak in 4. You love the Soares reaction stream. Took Djokovic live as 5th set. Well, the stats were telling you to take live in the 5th set. I put a couple of things out on X about their 5-set records, and you were getting plus 255. The Brandon King in that 5th set. And, really, if you look at the statistics, it should have been 255 Yannick Sinner. Never doubt the GOAT. Well, we did today. We did today, Corey, as you said. Another one giving me stick. Don't disrespect the GOAT. Well, we did. How could you? I mean, this is what shocked me the most today was how could you see that coming? You could give me stick to say I don't respect the greatest tennis player in the world, which I fully accept. But how could you see that level of performance after going 2 sets behind against Musetti, who, just to be fair, Musetti is in different levels to Yannick Sinner, and produce that performance? How I get the criticism. Thank you very much. I get it. I understand. I'm sorry. I didn't see that coming. I bet 3-0. Never expected Novak Djokovic to win it. But I don't think anybody could have seen that level. That is unbelievable. What else have we got here? Federer still number one for me. Well, a guy called yes. Serena Williams, well, yeah, she is. There's no doubt about that. Federer again. Phil Taylor. Well, Phil Taylor darts. Luke Littler could be challenging him in years to come, but I don't think the level what Phil Taylor did. It would be like what Novak Djokovic did today would be like Phil Taylor taking on Luke Littler and Luke Humphreys in the semi-finals now, in my opinion. That's how I feel. Djokovic has gone. He's shown nothing. He's rested himself up with these tournaments. He's been incredible. What else have we got here? Do you think that Nigel, these players check their betting odds for a match? I'm sure Djokovic. I don't think they check the betting odds, but I do definitely believe that they look at their news feed. I do definitely believe that they look at comments. I don't think necessarily the betting, but I do think they would be there because I do. I look at all these messages here, and I read this kind of stuff. People say they don't read it. They do know. They do know what's happening. But motivation was just that he wanted to prove everybody wrong. And when he got that second set, I mean, that was the changer. As I said, after the first set, minus 10,000 Yannick Sinner was, and Djokovic was 200-1 to win the tournament when he was 2 sets to love down against Musetti, which is incredible. The amount of break points as well. This is it. From 18 break points, Sinner just broke 2, and that's because he served so well on the crucial points. It was an amazing performance. We have Coley. Again, that's a team sport. Cricket's a team sport, and most Americans here wouldn't even know what cricket was. It's a posh baseball in their mind. So I don't understand that. We could have had we're absolutely right. A guy could have. We could have had a Zverev Novak final And that would have been unbelievable, wouldn't it? That would have been fantastic. But where do we go from here? What does Novak Djokovic do from here? The lines now, as he come out, there's not really much movement in it. There's still, plus 225. It's a very solid market, minus $3 for Carlos Alcaraz. And it's difficult to see where this one's going to go, because I think it's about the how they recover from what's been a crazy match, how they get by, and how we get on with it. But I just wanted to jump on here for these 15 minutes just to talk about this tennis match, because I think it's one of the most amazing Australian Open. The Australian Open, this tournament, has been a tournament I felt has been lacking any kind of excitement, lacking any kind of shocks, lacking any kind of long set matches. A lot of straight set matches, lots of winners. But what we've seen this morning has probably been some of the best Grand Slam semi-finals I've ever seen. And the story of Novak Djokovic is not back page news, it's front page news. And we're going to have it absolutely covered. Myself and Sean Calvert will have the whole final covered. And like I say, that will be dropping later today, maybe tomorrow morning. We're not quite sure of the time yet, because it was sensational. And I couldn't be more happier to be totally wrong than I was today on that final. So, everybody, thank you very much for popping on here for 20 minutes. It's good to speak to everybody. Let me get through some more questions. 17 years of age of difference. Incredible. It's absolutely incredible. Djokovic first, Federer second, Nadal third. I think that would probably be my order, Harry. It's going to be so interesting. Carlos Crampy, that makes, so if that's what you're thinking, then probably Djokovic at plus that 250 is a bet here. I mean, it's going to be survival of the fittest, and these two are probably the most fittest sports stars out there in the world, full stop. Would it be his best ever? Without a shadow of doubt, Dara. Without a shadow of doubt, this would be Novak Djokovic. Great. And I would argue that win today was his greatest ever win. Full stop. You know, that without a shadow of doubt, that is his greatest ever win. I agree. Both men wins. I mean, quite yeah, absolutely. What else have we got? What do you think? Well, I've been saying that they're up there. There's a graphic there. Minus 335. These are a lot hot off the stream from Bet Rivers. Minus 335 Carlos Alcaraz, plus 250 Novak Djokovic. Now, where would I go here? Well, I tell you what I would do. I've got to be betting the over 38.5 games. Actually, I would be betting that minus 109. I'd probably go Alcaraz to win 3-1 if I was pushed. I do think Alcaraz will have it. I think he can go now. He can get himself ready, prepared. There isn't much of a short turnaround before the final. And I think Alcaraz here will probably edge it, but I don't want to do it. I really don't want that to happen. So if you're going to give me stick, I'm like Donald Trump. Not Donald Trump. What was it? What was the guy who used to do the boxing? Donald King. I'd have one flag for Carlos Alcaraz and one flag for Novak Djokovic and go to the corner, whoever won. But I'm going to go for Novak Djokovic here. Carlos Alcaraz here to probably win it 3-1, but I would be betting the over 38.5 or over 3.5 sets, something like that. It's going to be a long match. I think they're so fit and they've got so much heart, these two, that it's going to be incredible. Anyway, before I drop off, we're talking about the men's final a little bit later with Sean, as I said. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, Betting Weekly Studios. And also, there is a preview of the women's final tonight, Rybakina against Sabalenka as well, myself and Tim Dennis, which is live on the YouTube channel as well. Click onto that. Make sure you watch that. I fancy games in that. I've had a decent bet tonight on over 22.5 games. But anyway, I'm going to go and have a nice cup of coffee and to come back, do a live show. Thanks for joining me. Really good live reaction show. What an incredible morning, wherever you're waking up to that tennis. If you missed it, go back and watch it. Incredible performance. Novak Djokovic produced one of the greatest tennis performances I've seen for many, many a year, and arguably his best performance of his career. Can he do it again against Carlos Alcaraz? We'll have it preview for you on Betting Weekly Game Bet Match with myself and Sean Calvert a little bit later on today. Take care, and I'll speak to you all again soon.